Let me say first off that this is a court of inquiry. It's not an adversarial court. It's a nonprofit educational event. And with enormous energy and intelligence, all of us have been brought together to try to bring out some of the aspects. So if I may, I have prepared an overview statement based on my work these many past weeks. And I want to just say that as a parent and as a patriot, I'm absolutely outraged by what we're allowing to happen to our children. Humanity is judged on how you treat the weakest member of the society. Let me say that although pedophilia, which says child love, has nothing to do with the abuse of children, these children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop. We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also importing children by the plane load. Again, children who have no documentation.
So, before anything, I want to apologize for my recent absence. This is always the busiest time of the year with work for me, and I've just had almost no free time whatsoever. But I do have 3 or 4 videos all about half finished, including part 4 of the Finders, so I will be dropping a lot of that in the next couple of weeks. First though, let's take a look at these recent reports about the alleged first suicide attempt by Epstein are now missing too. I know it's been a while, but if you remember, about a week before he died, he was found nearly unconscious in his cell, and he apparently stated that his cellmate had attacked him, and reportedly told his lawyers and I think his brother that his cellmate attacked him and that he was not suicidal. Well, the security tapes that would have shown what happened during that first suicide attempt, yeah, they're gone too. That's 2 separate events that were both on camera, but now there's no footage of either. The cameras apparently malfunctioned the night he died while the guards were sleeping and fabricating their logbooks. So anyways, let's take a look. Surveillance footage outside of Jeffrey Epstein's cell during suicide attempt is missing. Surveillance footage of the outside of Jeffrey Epstein's cell at the troubled Metropolitan Correctional Center during his suicide attempt has gone missing, prosecutors revealed Wednesday. Assistant U.S. Attorney Jason Swergold admitted nobody can find the footage of the outside of the cell the multimillionaire perv shared with accused quadruple murderer Nick Tartaglione during a hearing in White Plains District Court. Tartaglione, a former Blaircliff Manor cop, faces the death penalty for alleged murders in a drug deal gone bad. And does it seem weird to anyone else that they would put him in a cell with a guy like this, Tartaglione? I mean, seems like they were hoping this dude would kill him. The guy did murder 4 people. Bruce Barkett, an attorney for Tartaglione, confirmed the stunning revelation that the footage was not preserved. The Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment. Big surprise. Tartaglione's attorney filed a request for the footage to be retained 2 days after Epstein's unsuccessful suicide attempt on July 23rd, Barkett said. Quote, "It is on the surface troubling," Barkett said. "I'll reserve judgment until I've found out more details." Yeah, it's troubling alright, dude. Especially when you throw it in with all the other suspicious details going on with this entire case. Judge Kenneth Carras asked the government to look further into what happened to the footage. And yeah, I'm sure we'll get an honest answer from that. Those tapes are probably wherever the Kenny Trentadue tapes are, along with Jimmy Hoffa and who knows what else. The Daily News previously reported that Tartaglione claimed to have saved Epstein's life after the pedophile perv tried to hang himself. Epstein reportedly claimed that Tartaglione attacked him. Nick acted appropriately and admirably, Barkett said. The video footage was relevant to Tartaglione's defense because it is potentially evidence of the ex-cop's good character. In the event Tartaglione is found guilty and reaches the death penalty phase, the Epstein incident could possibly be evidence showing why he doesn't deserve to die. Okay. Epstein successfully hanged himself in a different cell 2 weeks later while awaiting trial for sex trafficking of underage girls. His body was discovered on August 10th. 2 correctional officers have been charged with neglecting their duties and falsifying records the night of Epstein's death. They fell asleep. Barkett said that Tartaglione has still not been questioned about Epstein's suicide. multiple probes are underway about how Epstein managed to kill himself in the federal lockup. Still hasn't been questioned about the Epstein suicide. Unbelievable. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this. I have to say that sadly, I'm not surprised at all. I think I even jokingly predicted that these tapes would go missing too eventually. But let's take a look at this too while we're talking about Epstein. New York City executive accused of having sex slave denies knowing Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein. A Manhattan executive accused of grooming a child model to be his sex slave wants her to drop legal claims that he has ties to Jeffrey Epstein's fixer, Ghislaine Maxwell, according to new court papers. Douglas Graham, who was sued last month by Nikki Henry for allegedly starting a sexual relationship with her when she was 14, says that despite the fact that he knew Maxwell's media mogul father, Robert, he doesn't know Ghislaine or Epstein, according to new papers filed in Manhattan Supreme Court Tuesday. And don't forget Robert Maxwell's deep ties to the Mossad too, and his suspicious death. Graham has not communicated with Mr. Maxwell since 1978. Graham has never met, nor has he ever communicated with Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell. I will say, I briefly looked through the unredacted black book, and I did not see his name in there, but I've been awake for almost 20 hours at this point, so I very could well have missed it, and I will definitely give it a closer look if we end up looking into this guy further. So, plaintiff knows this, yet she and her attorneys included the following scandalous and totally immaterial allegation in the sham verified complaint, Graham's lawyer Peter Smith alleged in the court documents. Graham, 69, says, quote, "In 2019, there is no more certain and effective way to gravely injure a man's reputation than to accuse him of being friends with Jeffrey Epstein and his alleged madam, Ghislaine Maxwell," the court papers say. Further, Graham, a former managing director of KPMG, says he didn't meet Henry until she was 21 years old in 2003. Graham says the pair had a healthy relationship and lived together until they split in 2016, at which point Henry, quote, "vowed to destroy Graham," including threatening to kill him and physically abuse him, the court papers allege. Henry's lawyer, Paul D'Amelia, said that Graham's motion seeking to have Henry amend her complaint to take out mentions of the Maxwell family ties misses the point. Quote, "I'm kind of taken aback that that's the part that Mr. Graham is scandalized about, not the part about the rape of a child. It's an incidental but very true fact that included in Graham's circle was Mr. Maxwell," D'Amelia said. "Miss Ghislaine was in Graham's circle of friends and Nikki noticed and observed her, and we haven't really said anything more than that at this point," D'Amelia said. "And as for Jeffrey Epstein, it sounds more like a guilty conscience on the part of Mr. Graham. We didn't even mention Epstein," D'Amelia added. D'Amelia said that the claim that Graham and Henry met when she was 21 rather than 14 is utter nonsense, since Henry says the pair met when she was still in high school. I still haven't looked into this guy too much yet, just some really basic surface level research, but I think it's worth a look, and I had a few people ask me to cover this in a video, so I think we should maybe keep an eye on it and see if any court transcripts become available. And anyways, like I mentioned, I have a few more videos coming out soon, including a pretty big one on the Finders, part 4, where I'll read some of the new documents that I don't think have been covered anywhere other than John Brisson's channel, quote, "We've read the documents." So keep an eye out for that. Dozens of people keep telling me that they're not getting notifications anymore, so I hope you check back every so often just in case. And I'll put a link to John's video and his breakdown of the new documents as well. Hope everybody has an awesome holiday season, and I will see you all soon. Peace.